Welcome back, chilling listeners, to True Crime Horror Stories. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, so you don't miss our weekly dive into the dark corners of the human experience. We explore the real-life terrors and the spine-tingling tales that make you question what truly lurks in the shadows. Tonight, we're not dissecting a police file, but rather a personal account that was sent to us by a listener named Alex. It's a story about an inheritance, a family heirloom, and a chilling realization that some gifts come with a far heavier price than you could ever imagine. So dim the lights, check under your bed, and prepare yourself. Because once you hear this, you might never look at old clocks the same way again. Alex's story begins, as many do, with loss, the passing of a loved one. In this case, his grandfather, a man he loved dearly, a man of quiet habits and a fascination with antiquities. Among the possessions Alex inherited, there was one item that truly stood out. Not for its monetary value, perhaps, but for its imposing presence. It was a grandfather clock, not the kind you see in every antique shop, but a truly magnificent piece, carved from the darkest, richest wood. Its surface gleamed with an almost obsidian sheen. Brass embellishments adorned its face and sides, gleaming softly even in low light. It was a testament to craftsmanship from a bygone era. Yet, for all its grandeur, it was, in Alex's own words, a dead thing. The hands were frozen, stuck forever, pointing to midnight. A fitting, if somewhat morbid, memento, Alex thought, for a man who had simply run out of time. He placed it prominently in his living room, on the mantelpiece, a silent, imposing sentinel. The first night after the clock arrived, Alex was shaken awake by a sound, not a loud, crashing noise, but something far more insidious, a ticking. And it wasn't just a ticking, it was the ticking, a rhythmic, insistent beat that seemed to emanate not from the clock itself. Alex verified. It was still utterly silent, its hands unmoving, but from the very air around him, from the walls, from beneath the floorboards, from deep within his own skull. His heart hammered against his ribs like a trapped bird. He pulled the covers tighter, trying to convince himself it was just his imagination, the grief playing tricks on him. But the sound was undeniably there, relentless, deafeningly subtle. The second night, the nightmare continued, escalating. The ticking was no longer just insistent, it was demanding, a frantic, pulsating thrum that vibrated through his entire home in Meerut, Punjab. Sleep was impossible. Every nerve ending was on edge. Alex paced his apartment, driven by an unshakable dread. He found himself drawn back to the living room, to the silent, dark wood of the grandfather clock. Its hands still pointed to midnight, a mockery of the time that was now escaping him, minute by torturous minute. He ran his fingers over the brass, feeling for any vibration, any warmth. Nothing. But then, as his eyes scoured the intricate details of the clock face in the dim light, he saw it, a faint inscription. He had never noticed it before, almost as if it had only just appeared. In a spidery, unsettling script, barely visible, it read, "Time is not a gift." That phrase, those 5 words, chilled Alex to the bone. Time is not a gift. What did that even mean? He spent the rest of the night staring at the clock, watching for any movement, listening to the agonizing tick that was everywhere but nowhere. He tried to rationalize it, to dismiss it as an old adage, a philosophical statement, anything but what his gut screamed. It was a warning. Then came the third night. Alex wasn't woken by ticking this time. He was woken by a sound far more terrifying, a low, guttural laugh. It wasn't human. It was deep, resonating, and it emanated directly from the grandfather clock. He stumbled out of bed, adrenaline coursing through his veins, fear a cold knot in his stomach. He burst into the living room, his eyes instantly snapping to the clock. The laughter becomes distinctly metallic and echoing, like it's coming from inside a hollow space. The ticking restarts, but it's erratic, almost gasping. And there it was. The hands. They were no longer frozen. They were moving, but not forward. No, they were moving backward. From midnight, they lurched to 11:59. Then, with a chilling clack, to 11:58. With each agonizing backward tick, the laughter grew louder, more distorted, more monstrous. It was a cacophony of sound that twisted Alex's sanity. It wasn't his grandfather's laugh. It was something else, something ancient, something hungry. The laughter and ticking become a chaotic, overlapping symphony of dread. A subtle, high-pitched whine begins beneath it all. The laughter filled the house, echoing from the walls, vibrating up from the very floorboards beneath Alex's bare feet. He wanted to run, to scream, to escape this living nightmare, but he was rooted to the spot, a petrified statue. His eyes, wide with terror, were fixed on the clock as its hands continued their horrifying regression. Past 11 o'clock, then 10 o'clock. Each tick was a physical blow, a painful stab in his heart. The air in the room grew cold, so cold he could see his breath. It grew thick, pressing in on him, suffocating him. The laughter was now a deafening chorus of agonizing screams, not just one voice, but hundreds, thousands, all blending into a single, unbearable shriek of torment. And with each backward tick, Alex felt something profound begin to slip away. His memories, fragments of his life, his identity were peeling away like old paint. His name, the faces of loved ones, his entire history. It was all dissolving into the cold, empty void created by the clock. The sound suddenly cuts to a single, final, earth-shattering boom. Silence for 2 beats. The last thing Alex saw, the absolute final image before the clock's hands struck midnight again. Completing their backward journey was not the clock face itself. It was a reflection. In the polished, dark glass of the clock's door, a figure appeared. It wasn't Alex, it was his grandfather. But his face, it was pale, gaunt, horribly distorted, stretched into a wide, manic, triumphant grin. He was no longer the quiet man Alex remembered. He was something else, something terrifying. And as the reflection faded, as the darkness consumed Alex's consciousness, his grandfather mouthed 2 words. 2 words that finally, horrifyingly, made everything clear. Alex hadn't been left a gift. He had been left a warning, a whisper, barely audible. Run now. Then the eerie intro music slowly fades back in. A chilling thought, isn't it? That some legacies aren't meant to empower us, but to trap us. Alex's story reminds us that sometimes the things we inherit carry more than just sentimental value. They carry secrets, curses, and perhaps the echoes of those who couldn't escape their grasp. What do you think happened to Alex? Did he escape? Or is he now just another ticking memory inside that antique clock? Let us know your theories in the comments below. If you have a true crime story or a chilling personal account you'd like to share, reach out to us. And don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who loves a good scare. And of course, subscribe to True Crime Horror Stories for more tales from the shadows. Until next time, stay safe, and always, always check your inheritances very carefully.